Hi, everybody. So, I'm doing a soul rebirth journey today. This is for Holly, and Holly would like me to focus on, she wants to let go of her weight. And we're going to go into her spiritual atmosphere and explore why this is a part of her soul journey to have a struggle with having a balanced weight. And also, she's having some really beautiful experiences with angelic energy, wanting to connect more with that, her spirit guides, and higher self. So, we're going to roll all of this into one session, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes. And Holly, thank you so much for your positive energy and your willingness to share this experience openly so other people can learn from you and explore spiritual healing on a new level. So I'm gonna go ahead and just relax here and get connected. I'm gonna be drinking a lot of water throughout this because I've been dealing with a dry throat. So okay. Just relaxing my energy field right now. It's very relaxing and peaceful right now. I'm just sort of feel like I'm floating, just very like light as a feather, but I'm not falling. I just feel like I'm kind of floating, kind of in a magical way, forward. I'm just floating forward, kind of in a magical way. There is what looks like fire that creates a tunnel, but it's white and pink, rosy looking colors, flames that are moving along the edges and the sides, and they seem like they're moving forward with me. It's really like Valentine's Day colors, but a lot of white flame. I'm starting to feel a little bit more of an energy, like a energy pull, a little bit more density. It's okay. I'm getting pulled into density. This is a deep, I feel this one is going deep into the digestive region, which is where we store emotions too, in the emotional gut region. But it's interesting because as I go into the gut region, I sort of go beyond it and towards the lower spine. I just sort of hang out here. I just attach to the lower spine and I feel really, really small, like the size of a cell. And I just want to go to sleep right here. And just like I feel like a little piece of pollen. That's what I feel like. That's what I feel like. I mean, this whole experience, I felt like a drifting piece of pollen, not really sure where I meant to. I meant to, like, what is pollen's purpose? It's dust. It helps the flowers to reproduce and it creates beauty across the globe. But the pollen can go in the air and it sort of drifts until it descends into its purpose, right? So as a piece of pollen, I'm just sort of just descending wherever I'm meant to go. But this piece of pollen is going right into the lower spine region. It's starting to irritate you. It's starting to feel a little bit more uncomfortable in the lower spine. Like you're starting to kind of notice there's some discomfort there. But this part of me, which is a consciousness of learning, it's not actually hurting you, it's teaching us about you. But I'm just sort of resting here and not noticing that I am creating imbalance or upset within you. And I don't want to go, I want to stay here. And I find myself stretching my legs and arms out, like literally, like I'm stretching them out, both out. It's really silly. I feel like honestly, I'm telling you, it's kind of a lovely feeling, but I feel like I'm growing fatter, but I just like it this way. I like it this way. I like feeling connected to this place. I like just stretching my arms and legs. I like relaxing. I like the way that this feels. I don't mind that I'm growing fatter. I'm actually, as a little circular piece of yellow pollen, I'm actually growing into a person, just a tiny little person sitting on the lower spine. And I'm stretching the legs out. This is towards the emotional gut region, not towards the outside world on the other side of your spine. I'm noticing that the spine of the pollen piece that's turning into a miniature version of you is also connected to this bigger spine that is your spine. It's attached. It doesn't want to let go. It doesn't want to change. And even when it feels like it should, like it does need to change, like it needs to self realize, it needs to grow beyond this, it needs to do things differently, the deeper part of your consciousness is very firm, is like, humph, no, no. I like it like this. I really like it like this. So I see there's the human you, and I see this tiny little pollen you, resting in the spine. Well, this human you, full sized real life version, um, there's an action of looking in the mirror and examining the figure, and feeling very sort of like this is my mold or this is my design. I can't seem to under. I can't I can't conquer it. I can't overcome it. I can't make it. I can't change it. But it's also not satisfying. This is really creating a lot of issues. I can feel them lighting up all the structure, energy structure. We are made up of many energy bodies, but I feel them all create experiencing the digestion of an echo of value, based on your body weight and the way that you feel that your appearance is valued in this world because of size. Creates a lot of sadness, and there's energy stores here as self-expression. There's energy stores in the heart, there's energy stores in the emotional gut region. Your actual matrix design is creating, what is like a it looks like a fence, a chain link fence, but it's made out of a yellow elastic, and it's got holes in it, so it's like a chain link fence, but it wraps around you and it holds you tight. And it's creating more sort of links in the chain, and it's becoming tighter and more gripped to you. It's interesting because it's sort of like a highway or a freeway of passing information, and it's digesting or reading this information about your design or your makeup, but it's very strict. It says this is the right design, this is the right makeup, and it feeds off of your sorrows or frustration, and it creates more links in the chain, and then it continues to wrap around you. It makes it very difficult for you to actually to tell your design it has to be different. It's This is the first time I've ever seen it quite like this. I have to just keep watching here. There's nothing I can do. I just have to absorb, this energy information and examine it. And why is it doing this? Where did this come from? What is the inspiration? Why is this the way that you felt that your design would be best suited for you, and yet it is creating echoes of, that value challenge? This is really a complex thing because I'm now seeing yet a third version of you, that's just over here. I see this version of you looking in the mirror and this ever-growing chain link fence that is sort of digesting the value. You know, you're looking in the mirror, you're creating a contemplation about your value. It's creating more links. It's saying this is right, and it's holding on to you very tightly, and it keeps growing, and it continues to feed off of this. I don't know why it's doing that. It just is. And then we have this little pollen version of you in the lower spine that's really connected to the spine, and it doesn't want to change. And it is very, very insistent that I'm not going to change. So now we have a third version of you. There's something very peculiar. I can't quite get to it, but it's some sort of version of learning that took place when you were younger. And it told you that you would grow to be like this. And that would be best suited for you. I'm still trying to get to that echo of learning that took place a long time ago. It feels like it just happened like that. Bam. And then it became. And then that's what it was going to be. So I've got a lot going on here. So what is this version of you over here? Third version of you. She's hard to see because she's at a distance. She reminds me of what would be like 8, 9 years old. She's a girl kind of like leaning against the side of a building, what would look like a school building or something. There's brick. I feel like it's like a recess thing, but I just see her against the side of a brick building. She's sort of kicking a rock and she's waiting. She's got kind of a bloated belly to her. She'd look a little bit bulkier than the other kids. But she's not playing with anybody right now. She's looking at a rock and she's kicking the rock. She doesn't really know what to do. She's trying to hide herself, but you can't really hide yourself standing against a brick wall. But it's kind of like, well, if I don't look out at the playground to see everybody, if I kind of look along the side of the wall or away, then it's almost like there's nobody here, and so I'm not exactly alone right now. Again, this is like an 8-year-old mind, 9-year-old mind. It's like a childlike mind. It's just a feeling of waiting, like waiting to go back inside. I'm going to go to her and I want to see if I can get her to turn out around and see all these kids playing. I feel very much so like this is a playground. This is very weird because I go to her, but some part of me is not able to tell her how beautiful and how special she is. So I go to her and it's like I'm not speaking, but I'm trying to tell her the truth about herself, but nothing comes out. And she feels alone, so nobody sees how special and beautiful she is. And even I, in this way, it's like I'm speaking sign language with my hands, and nothing comes out of my mouth. I try very hard to tell her how beautiful and special she is, and my voice becomes warped, and it sounds like somebody is playing with my voice box, so it goes really low. It's like, you are really beautiful. That's what it's like. It's not coming out right. And she doesn't really notice that I'm here either. I seem to be invisible to her. This is very hard. I see that she's created a very, this is a one-of-a-kind experience. I'll tell you that much, Holly. She's created some sort of clear plastic orb around herself. This is also to hide herself, but it's also to, she has an assumption or an idea of what the opinion is going to be, so she's not going to let in the opinion of how beautiful she is. And so that's why I'm struggling here to get through to her, because she wants to be invisible. And if somebody were to come to her, she would translate it as a negative thing instead of a positive thing. And so the truth can't actually get through to her about how beautiful and special she is. This actually is quite a phenomenal, this is like a gift to you. Your higher self really wanted to explore life being exactly like this. That also is coming through to me. These are the special ingredients. Your higher self has a dropper of different colors, and she's making like a magical potion, a special potion, which is you. And she's saying, I'm going to put some blues and some greens and some red, just this much and this much, and we have a couple extra drops, and I'm going to stir it up, and I'm going to mix this, and this, and then I'm going to let it brew for 3 hours. And then the magical potion is poof. Now I am exactly as I want to be. I'm exactly as I am meant to be. I want to explore my design or my creation just like this. And it's you. She wanted to be exactly like you, Holly. And that honestly is very special, because your higher self is telling you, you are my beautiful design. Why don't you see how beautiful you are? Who cares? Who cares about anything negative related to you? You are my beautiful design. And that's who you are. That's how I designed you. I designed you as beautiful. And I'm your higher self, and I don't design ugly things. I design beautiful things. I put all this time and effort and dedication and focus into creating you as you are is beautiful. It's very, very intense, very meaningful, very, very beautiful. I feel that energy. She is showing me this odd yellow chain link fence. Kind of looks like a honeycomb, but it's only, like, it's not thick at all. I mean, maybe an inch or half an inch thick. It wraps around you. She's pointing at that to me. She says, Abby, if I let go of this, now my design changes. And she's very sweet. She's very sweet. She's like sweet as honey. She's very sweet. Oh my god. She's so lively. She's so lighthearted. She's pointing at this design, this matrix that is surrounding you. She's okay with letting it go, because you get to decide too how you want to be in this world, and you are also her. And so she's saying, but have I completed the deeper learning associated with why I chose to be heavy set? She is looking at me and saying, you human Abby, are you wise enough to judge what my soul learning is all about? Holly, the human, are you wise enough to understand why this is so valuable for you to learn about self-love in this way? If I make it go away, now your learning changes. Is it time yet for your learning to change? Do you know the answer to this question as a human being? She's smiling. She loves this riddle. She's like, riddles, riddles. She's like super funny and sweet, and she's not like threatening at all, like zero threats. She might say something to get you thinking, but there's like zero threat in her stance about things. She just loves to get you thinking so much, and she loves to experience the echo of your reactions to things, because they're so freaking beautiful and loud and spoken proudly. It's something about your expressive nature is just like, your higher self, adores it. She loves giving you more reasons to have an expression about something, and she loves your expressive nature. Again, I keep seeing honeybees, honeycombs, echoes of like pollen and flowers, and but sweet things like honey, like But it's natural honey. I don't know why, but I keep thinking about that and honey bears, or Pooh Bear, or something like adorable, sweet, cute, really bright yellowish colors right now, springtime colors, flowery colors, softness, warmth. It's so peaceful. I feel like such a peaceful air. She is touching this. It's kind of rubbery material, like a chain link fence, but it's like a rubbery, squishy material. Okay. Two things happening at the same time, and they're weird. I see a picture of you on one side, and it feels like you're getting actually gaining weight. You're gaining like 100 pounds. Like you're just, it's like a balloon blowing up, with helium. Like it's just getting bigger. So I see you actually getting bigger, and she's touching this, what is squishy, yellowish colored chain link fence tightly wrapped around. Now over here, I see her. I don't know, are these scissors or something sharp, X-Acto knives? But she has two of them. It's a big, massive white piece of construction paper, and she is putting them down, and then she keeps doing the same action over and over again with these, X-Acto knives. She's putting them in, and then it's like cutting the paper. She doesn't start at the top. She actually starts about 4 inches down and then, cuts. So there's just like, basically, I mean, there's like a flap here. I'm just watching this. Hmm. The more she does it, it feels like there's more and more and more papers, and it's like it's turning into an actual book of some strange kind. Like it's opening up, and there's these flaps, obviously, but I feel like it's a big book. I don't know. It's like she's folding the pages somehow in some weird way, like a paper mache or something. I see the other version watching, and she's just puffing out more and more and more. It's actually creating so much. It's the binding is getting really tight. It's about to break off. It's about to just pull apart. She's puffing out more and more and more and more, and this binding is not feeding off of her, her thoughts, her negative thoughts about herself. It's not feeding off of her negative thoughts because she's distracted trying to make sense of what does this mean. And as she's distracted, it's just like she's puffing out more and more, and this is getting, it's just about to break off. The binding is crying. It's saying, please don't do this. Please don't let go. Please don't remove me. Please let me hold on to you tightly. Let me be a part of you. Let me take care of you. Let me, we've been together for so long. You actually seem to recognize the weight as a friend, actually. You see it as a friend, and a friend that has helped you in your life. You're mesmerized by whatever this is. Paper mache book, giant, massive bookmaking. I mean, it's as big as a wall. It's very weird, but you're so distracted. It's like, have you ever been in one of those states where you're just like, you're just suddenly staring at the wall, and you're like in some sort of hypnosis and you can't get out of it, but you don't want to because it feels oddly good and it doesn't make any sense. But that's kind of what this is like right now. You're like in a weird dazed hypnosis, and it's nice, and you're just not hearing it. And so this weight that is your friend is saying, please, please, you're going to break me off. You're going to, let go of me. This is part of it. Is the part of the deeper message is you've seen your weight as your friend. Now the question is, why has your weight been your friend when also your weight has been what you would define as not your friend? But the deeper part of you sees it as your friend or a helper. It's helping you somehow. But what is it helping you with? So again, this is hard to get to it, but there's a tiny little echo of some sort of what would be like a little tiny fear or something like that. It happened a long time ago when you were little, and it literally was this fast, and suddenly it created an imprint um, that said I should be bigger, or I should be, something about your design, as a survival or a protective shield, something of this kind. It's okay. Your higher self is really proud of this, the way things are going right now. She says, just keep watching this action. I don't know what. This Exacto knives are cutting, and we're making paper mache with a giant thing. I don't get it. And we're just allowing it to happen. It's distracting you. And we're noticing that you're actually, instead of puffing out, you're going the other way. You're going thinner. And this is actually so loose now, it's just sliding right off of you. It's interesting because you go thinner, in the waistline, and then you go thinner, in the hips and the legs. It's so weird because you don't look anything like you've ever seen yourself before, is kind of what this is like, and you don't even realize that this has happened. I also see what is a version of you that is the balanced weight, or what would be your dream goal kind of thing. But I see an invisible energy version of you that is very puffed out and is walking out of what is a balanced weight version of you. She's not an anorexic girl. She's not like a skinny girl. She looks like a she just looks natural. I mean, I like that she's got curvature. I like that she's not super skinny. She's also not heavy set. She actually looks now like a natural size. This is big deal because the invisible energy version is stepping out, is very it doesn't know where to go, but it doesn't want to go back to you. It wants to move on. Your higher self is, it's weird. It's like a little puppy dog, behavior. This invisible, large, puffed out version, comes to your higher self, and she's like, come on now, come on. And it's sort of just like, I will follow you wherever you go, like a puppy dog. It doesn't really have a mind per se, but it is real energy. It is like a consciousness of a kind, and so your higher self is taking this part of your consciousness, to where, whatever this energy is, we don't delete energy, we don't, get make it go away, we transform it into something beautiful, we recycle it into other things, or it just transforms and changes and grows and becomes something else, just like us, just like you are transforming and changing too. Can you imagine yourself transforming and changing into some form of yourself that you've never seen before? We don't delete people. We don't delete energies. We don't do that. Transform things. That energy body is taken away. Your higher self is like sweet. She's sweet. I don't know what it is, but there's like a country crock lemonade. I don't know, like, something like, images of the South, and like a slow way of speaking, but that's really warm and has beautiful manners, and something like, really just soft, undertones of warm family functions, actually, like, but I see like cornfields or like a farm, scene, and just warm interactions, like they should be. It's like the way life should be. and enjoying the kids and your brothers and sisters and your mom and dad, and like everybody is there, and we're just laughing and we're sharing, and we're thinking and we're talking and we're playing, and we're making a beautiful, like, there's baked beans, and like, I don't know, it's just like there's some sort of family function, and it's just like a gathering, and it's really fun and lighthearted, and I don't know, I keep seeing country crock lemonade. And it's like a beautiful day. And your higher self is like this. That her energy is very like adorable, sweet, and warm family. She's very much so like this. Gosh, she's just awesome. Like, like a grandmother that you just can't get enough of, because she just knows how to talk, to a kid, and she knows how to get on their level and say really silly things or really sweet things, and to give little grandma like presents and bake cookies, like really really sweet like that, really charming like that, like memorable. She's memorable. um, you're really kind of lost and confused, because you don't have your friend, and you don't have the energy weight with you, and it feels kind of cold, and it feels dark, and it feels lifeless. It does. You can't access your higher self. You can't access anything beautiful about this experience of being, what is your dream weight or a balanced weight. You feel cold, you feel empty, you feel lost, actually. You cry, you actually cry, and you can't, you're trying to hide yourself with your hands. I mean, you're really pretty. I don't know what it is. You remind me of a figure I've seen before, a body figure I've seen before. It's a beautiful figure. I mean, some women have like, softball shape, like softball sport, or some are like runner size, or some are like, I don't know what it is, but it's like, but like volleyball. I keep thinking of like volleyball, but not like we're talking like the crazy slim Olympic volleyball players, but we're talking about just like a strong body that isn't like ridiculously skinny, but it is not. It just looks balanced, and I don't know why you're hiding it. And I'm standing here again, and I'm watching you, and but you don't call that part of you to come back. It's interesting because this is a scene in a play, and the play is a story about a girl, and there's a lot of metaphors involved, and it's really deep, and it's a play for women specifically, and it's a play about feminine beauty and the loss of feminine beauty, and you actually, that's complicated. This is complicated because while you didn't see the beauty of yourself as you are, you tried to, but it would keep creating an energy reaction that would be absorbed by an energy fence that would inspire you to grow, inspire you to hold on to the weight, which would be like your weight is your friend. And so now we're letting go of the weight so we can be as society wants us to be, or however, I don't know how to define this, but it's actually not comfortable. It's actually a feeling of grief, and loss. It feels like terrible loss and sadness and confusion about the identity. And it's a play about women, actually. Women, and what beauty is all about. What is real beauty? And you have a powerful, deep, very amazing perspective. And you would actually be able to translate this play idea and know exactly what it's about. I don't know why, but I feel your consciousness knows about this play. And it's actually a play about your life, but it might not come out that way. But a lot of women, and I'm telling you, a lot of women will feel transformed because this play isn't like the place right now. There is healing involved with it. There's actually energy work involved with it. You're It's supposed to be intertwined with spiritual healing, and it may not look like that is happening, but that is absolutely happening. So the play kind of looks like any ordinary play, but it's really like it plays certain chords that are transformative for women and create sort of reprogramming of how the female body is either feels balanced or not balanced, but it brings chords of balance to the female form, specifically that, and it's really powerful. So we're watching the part of the play. This is the middle of the play where you let go of this large energy, invisible energy body, and I'm starting to see the scenes where as they were meant to be, like the energy body is now leaving, and you don't realize it's happening, but it is gone. Your friend now is gone, has been walked up a stair to, the behind the scenes. There's your higher self, and now there's like dim lights and dim lights everywhere except a very thin light on what is a girl who has lost herself. And we're talking about what she lost was weight, but she actually lost herself. So you can see why this is very, very deep. And she's vulnerable, emotionally vulnerable. There's just a thin light that actually comes down her form from heaven, is what it is like. She's sort of like wanting to find herself, and she's sort of standing in a pose where she's kind of curled and down, but then she's like a flower and she's slowly coming upward, and she looks up into the very thin light that is like kind of on her nose now, almost like it's water coming onto her face. It's just a really thin thing, but it feels like it's more than that. She looks up and she says to God, "Who am I?" She asks God if God sees her. She asks God if she could be good enough now that she has lost a part of herself, but yet she has gained some version of freedom that still feels empty. God asks her if he were to tell her that she is beautiful, what would that mean to her now, and what would that have meant to her before? She says, "God, why does my life have to be about beauty? Why does it have to matter so much? What is beautiful, truly?" Your higher self watches the play, and her sweetness is felt as she watches you expressing yourself deeply. I see what is a beautiful this I see it as a beautiful man, a lover appearing out of nowhere, and I can feel that love instantly, instantly stands there, and the frequencies of love just go straight into your heart as you were distracted talking to heaven. And this conversation about beauty, we're talking to heaven, but when suddenly you are dumbstruck, or you didn't know that was going to happen, real love actually is standing before you in a way that you can't deny it. Now real love embraces you without actually embracing you, but gazes into you and shares love and harmonies with you without words. And you don't even know what to make of this. And now suddenly it doesn't matter what you were or what you are now. All that matters is love and the soul connection. He's wearing a black suit. I cannot see his face. He's taller than you. You feel like there is a gap between you, but there isn't. It's just what would, some sort of version of weight that would have been there that is not. And he can come closer to you now than you have ever felt what closeness can be. You don't believe this is real. You don't believe this could be happening right now. You want to believe it. It's almost like it's overwhelming, to the point that you're trying to block him out, or you're trying to create him as invisible. And your higher self says, not anymore, Holly. We've removed the plastic orb shield. That is no longer there, which means you are going to start hearing people speak from meaning. There's some sort of version of speaking you'll be translating in a new way. You'll also be seen by people, and you will be seeing people. Like, it's going to be more noticeable. And you're also, we removed whatever that energy friend was. It's the illusion, because you don't, all you need is yourself, right? But somehow yourself wasn't good enough a long time ago, and so you created a bigger version of you so that you could be more yourself. Well, you don't need to be more yourself. You actually already are yourself. So it was a manipulation that you thought that you needed to be more yourself, so you gain more weight. And by gaining more weight, you're more yourself. Well, that's not actually you being more yourself. That's just you gaining weight. But that was a very innocent, childlike. It took this long, and suddenly it was sort of branded into you as the right thing to do, or natural. It's not there anymore. The branding has been removed. That idea, that framework of an idea has been removed. You feel ridiculously lighter, because you let go of what was the illusion of having a friend with you everywhere you go. I'm not going to that pollen place. I'm trying to get there, but it feels like it's just disappeared. I can't even find it. I can't relate to it. It's just totally not even there anymore. It just doesn't even relate. It doesn't compute. It just evaporated on its own. I just like this man a lot. And I'm not going to think about any of the details. I'm not going to ask any questions. I'm just going to let him hold me. Because that's what I want. I want him to hold me. That's part of the play, is the healing of the divine masculine when it holds the divine feminine body. Just in a state of pure, intimate, just love. Just holding is so powerful. Is so powerful. Holding is. You feel so held and comforted. And his energy actually digests your energy. Because your love energy is absolutely insatiable to him, because it's insatiable to me too. Like, God, your higher self is just like amazing. It's like, Holly's higher self is awesome. That's what she's like. She's like so sweet. She's so sweet. I could be around that all day. He feels that way too, because he feels that energy within you. He wants to digest your energy all day long, and it just vibrates off of you like, I don't know. What is these country scenes? Country crock lemonade. There's like a hay field and like a a hayrack ride or something, and it's like warm experiences with friends and family, and they never end. They just go on and on and on and on and on forever, and you can never get enough of them. And it's just so warm and genuine and sincere and honest and balanced and freaking lovely. It's amazing. Hmm. So beautiful. Hmm. I'm just gonna let this happen. So the scene changes. You are laying in bed together. You are facing him on a pillow. He is facing you on a pillow. He is touching your cheek. I can't understand it just yet. There's some sort of weird, dark, gooey, like shadow energy that is coming between you two. You touch his chest with your hands, and it's all very gentle between you both. But the shadow energy does not seem to be noticed by you guys, but I'm seeing it, so I'm trying to make sense of why that is there. It's actually coming out of you. It's actually you are letting go of it. It's not hurting either of you guys. It's actually you are releasing it, and it's just coming out of you. I mean, it's is it fear? Is it something, some part of you that has been part of you for a while, and now it's time to let go because love is here, and it's okay to be held by love, and it's okay to let go of the fears now because that type of love, it seems to overpower anything else. There's nothing that could hurt it because the love itself is like its own shield or its own Archangel Michael, its own power. And the dark energy is actually happy to leave you because it knows its purpose with you is no longer valid, and it wants to move on to where it is actually needed. We don't see shadowy energy as a good thing, but it helps, it teaches us, it challenges us, and it teaches us about ourselves. It teaches us how to overcome ourselves, how to overcome fear. And when it's not needed anymore, it just moves on. And it's moving on. There's just so much of it. It's just like a really long thing. I think it is fear of a real, like, intimate relationship that sees you and values you and loves you for exactly as you are. And this man helps you to release that fear because he loves you in a way you've never felt before. And he loves you in a way that it just like instantly it is safe, it is real, it is genuine and honest. It is like the images of the hayrack ride and the family and the country crock lemonade and the farm and the family gatherings. Like he is an echo of love just like you are. He is just like you in that way. Very similar things that you both enjoy energetically on the same page. And I really feel like he actually values your opinions and he values your perspective. He sees you as an intelligent woman and actually treats you and speaks to you in that way too. And he admires that about you. He admires your spirit, the spirit of your personality, the spirit of your intelligence, the spirit of your divine feminine energy. He very much so loves these qualities in you. He feels like they're one of a kind. He's never seen them in anybody else he's ever met, any other woman. He sees it in you. The thing is he doesn't speak, and you don't speak because you're just sort of in each other's gaze. And that's what real love is. you're just letting go of more of these fears, and the more fears you let go of, there's no separation, there's no like comfort buffer between your bodies. Like, it's okay to feel embraced, it's okay to feel close, it's okay. It just takes time, because I feel like you've been hurt. I feel like there's something about your life experiences that have created like a natural resistance, or unsure. You're just unsure if um, there's some sort of resistance between. Still, it's getting easier. It's getting more welcoming, but it's still resistance, because this should be an intimate, like a full on intimate moment, but it's still like, still kind of not ready yet, or still unsure about this. But it's okay, because we're just helping to release. That's where all this dark energy is coming from, because um, it's all fear related about relationships. And I think it's natural, it's very natural. He's so patient. You're like a treasure worth waiting for. Like, he's not pushy at all. In fact, he will just hold you, and that is very pleasing for him, just to be close to you. You actually, in the middle of the night, you feel that he's still there holding you, and you cry to yourself, and it's like you say thank you to God, because God found a way to tell you you are beautiful. And you feel it. It's really, really touching. It's really beautiful. I don't think he knows either how much this means to you. That his soul knows somehow, but it's okay if his human form doesn't quite know. But this moment too is healing for you, and you're so thankful and so grateful for him. And it's like you snuggle closer to him, and again, this action is helping to remove like an invisible buffer um, of protection, so you don't get hurt or something of this kind. But that it gets easier and easier and more natural the more that you feel that this is real. You just need time to feel that first. He activates a lot within you, because it's like you have a reason to live in a way you've never felt it before. And I mean, you seem like the type of person who has a lot of reasons to live. Like, you feel like you're just a lively person. But he brings the life, the real genuine life out of you. Like, you actually feel like, for the first time, you really are hearing and smelling the flowers, hearing the birds, seeing the beauty of this world. And everywhere you walk, every sidewalk, no matter what you see, it like everything is perfect, and everything is in balance, and everything is beautiful. Like, he gives this gift to you. It feels so natural. It's like people in love are so extraordinary, and that's a reflection of what natural balance actually looks like. Because people in love they can find the freedom to love this world no matter what, um, and they bring that love into themselves, and they cherish it, and they represent it, and they remind us about what love is all about and why love is so important. And that's how love heals the world. That's how love heals the world. And your love is going to heal the world. Very much so. There's something about um, this going to bring out a version of confidence in you. It's going to bring out a new spring breeze, a new persona, a new walk away, a step in life. I actually feel like that this man, you're going to attract this man into your life. I don't know when that's, I don't have a clue when that's supposed to happen, but this feels like a legit thing, a legit connection you will have with a soulmate. They take me back to the scene where you feel alone and you feel kind of a shadow of darkness and you speak to God about beauty. And through this light, God touches you and speaks back. And at this time, you discover, you turn around and there is this man who is a reflection of God's voice telling you how beautiful you are and finally getting that message through to you. So that's what they say in response to, when is this going to happen? I'm going back to that scene again with where it's just you and God, and something is also happening here. I need to look at it. I see in another version of the same, which would be ego's version, ego's fearful version. It's like an ego-based image. Ego is showing you how you have destroyed yourself and how pathetic you are, that you want to live your life like everybody else, like society tells you to. Ego wants you to start hurting yourself as punishment for accomplishing this one thing that you've wanted to experience. Ego makes you feel dirty and ugly inside, makes you feel stupid. It tries to push you away from what would be a dream relationship. Tries to tell you that'll never happen for you. Tries to kick you off of the stage. You're not number one. You're not special. You're not supposed to be on this stage. That's for an actress. It's not for you. You're no actress. Ego is really rude. I mean, ego just wants you to feel like you're pathetic, that you're nothing, that you're nobody. I have to let ego react because ego is freaking out right now by all this love and transformation. So I gotta let ego do its thing so I can help ego adjust to the energy work I've done, because this is going to be a big transformation for you. And ego, we don't need ego interrupting it. So just let ego attack you all at once. It's not going to hurt you. It's just going to threaten you, because that's what ego does. And the threats can hurt if we allow them to, if we want to believe them. Ego has put you in your place, which is in the audience. There's nobody here watching your play, nobody here in the audience but you. You're the only person in your life. You're the only person that cares about you. Holly is standing up for herself. Holly is done with this. This is also part of the play, believe it or not. It was an unexpected turn of events. I see you in the audience where there's nobody here to watch your play. It is the story of your life. A play that is going to change the lives of many women. Specifically women. And you get up from your seat and you walk down the aisle and you say, Ego, I've had enough of your lip. You say, I've had enough of your lip. You're gonna give ego a talking to. Ego is really surprised that you're standing up for yourself. Ego didn't expect that you would stand up for yourself. But in this way, something beautiful happens. We see you exactly as you are, a shapely woman, and there is a beautiful, handsome, just loving man. It's a black suit. There are two things happening here. One is a test to see if you're going to go back to needing your friend, as in needing the weight to be a part of your life. This is a test. And if you let ego break you down, you're always going to choose to have a friend in your life, so you'll never be free to just be you or to know what it is like to just be you. But it's also complicated because you're not somebody who goes along with society. And so you would just be yourself anyway, fuck society kind of thing, but you also feel society. You feel the way society evaluates somebody, a woman who is larger, as not as desirable. So that also gets complicated because you're just who you are kind of thing. And you don't need society to tell you who to be. But it all goes back to when you were a child, there really was some sort of fear-based thing, and it felt like you needed to be more yourself kind of thing. So do you really need to be more yourself, or are you perfect just the way you are? When I say that, you instantly realize it's not about society. It is not about anything except what was a child that was hurt for a moment and decided that it needed to be more itself, as sort of a survival or a safety mechanism. That's what it's like. It has nothing to do with anything but that. And now we can see how all these structures built up in relation, we got lost and confused in the process, and all it was just a single moment that took this long. That's what it was like. So we see what is like a janitor and all this energy, this slingshotting with the ego. Ego has left the scene. There's like what is like black ashes from like explosive conversation. That's just like dust and dirt, and the old fears kind of come back for a moment. And then it just fades away, and the janitor's sort of brushing off all this dirt off of the scene. It was all just a fear or worry, and we're actually back in the bedroom with this very kind man who is holding you and loves you just the way you are. Again, the buffer between you again recedes, and you're feeling that much closer. Even though you're extremely close, there's like, he's like, spooning you. He's behind you, holding you close, and there's no gaps. But somehow energetically, there's like an energy gap, but another energy gap has just been released. And you feel safe to be yourself once more. It's okay. It's okay now. Ah, the little pollen girl. She's waking up from a dream. She's disconnecting her spine from the lower spinal area. She's grown some fairy wings. She does not look heavy set. She looks just like a little fairy. And she flies through the emotional gut region. She flies out. She just flies up into the starry night sky. I just feel like she kind of blends in with the stars somehow. But it's the night, the stars at night, and there's flowers. I just feel everything is peaceful now. Okay, Holly, that is what I have to share with you. Thank you for this very special, very unique experience. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to find this to be very interesting and helpful in their life. And just thank you so much, and thank you for sharing. And for those of you watching, if you're interested in exploring a soul rebirth journey with me or any psychic service, please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you all, and have a wonderful day.